Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, a lot of people have been trying to figure out exactly why the cryptocurrency market has been rallying over the last 24 hours. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. The CEO of cryptocurrency firm BCB Group says Bitcoin's massive pump was triggered by a single Bitcoin whale in a coordinated effort to buy nearly $100 million worth of Bitcoin across 3 cryptocurrency exchanges. Oliver von Landsberg-Sadi told Reuters a 20,000 Bitcoin buying spree executed simultaneously on Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp is largely responsible for the surge, which briefly boosted the price of Bitcoin above $5,000. He said, there has been a single order that has been algorithmically managed across these 3 venues of around 20,000 Bitcoin. If you look at the volumes in each of those 3 exchanges, they were in concert, synchronized, units of volume of around 7,000 Bitcoin in an hour. Crypto analyst Data Dash says at some point he believes large holders of Bitcoin who have accumulated Bitcoin in over-the-counter trades will have a large incentive to begin spot trading on crypto exchanges to lift the price. He says you have to understand that over the past months, we've had a good opportunity for over-the-counter buyers to finally start picking up Bitcoin at lower levels. Once they have enough incentive, once they have enough at stake in Bitcoin markets, once they've built up their long-term positions, they have an incentive to trade on spot market, meaning to clear through the order book to start buying positions on spot market. Why would they do that? Well, it's because they've got a much more substantial position than they bought over the counter where they didn't incur slippage. And now they have an incentive to actually price actual slippage to the upside to clear through the order books to buy some extra Bitcoin on the exchange, really across most of the major exchanges, probably around 50 or 60,000 Bitcoin. And from there, actually increasing the value of the much larger position. And this can happen in crypto markets, whether people think it's moral or not. I think it's substantially what's happening. So this, to me, seems like the more likely of the actual 2 options. And the second option, why people believe the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency markets at large have exploded over the last day or so, is this. Bitcoin futures had a strong start on Tuesday as the CBOE and CME April contracts increased by over 16% to $4,805. Here's this crazy little jump right here, nothing, and then it completely explodes. And yeah, in a note to Barron's, Geber, digital asset strategist at VanEck, says he believes Bitcoin's recent price spike is highest since November 2017 that was triggered only by the futures market. He says CME Bitcoin futures expired last Friday. A large chunk of the positions were rolled or buying into the new front month BTC futures contracts. Over the weekend, heavy spot Bitcoin and over-the-counter buying followed the Bitcoin futures contract expiration, pushing Bitcoin price up slowly and gradually. As the price moved up in increments, over $500 million shorts had been liquidated on leveraged crypto derivatives trading platforms around the world. Bitcoin surged over 17%, reaching a high of 5,100 on Tuesday, followed by a widespread altcoin rally with double-digit gains. So his idea is that it was only the sentiment from the Bitcoin futures that caused everyone else around the world to kind of start buying into Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency market once again. This is why I said, while this may have played some type of a part in it, I would assume that a $100 million buy order across 3 cryptocurrency exchanges to buy everything at market price probably would have triggered exactly what we saw. $33 million on an exchange anywhere around the world is an enormous amount of money. And if you start buying up every single sell order that's out there indiscriminately, you're going to push the price up. This one seems a bit more believable. There are other theories. It kind of is what it is. This one seems the most believable. I'm sure everyone has their own idea as to what could have possibly pushed up Bitcoin's price. But yeah, let's move on. In a kind of under pressure for being months behind schedule, excuse me, the Central Bank of Iran finally published a draft framework on the legality of cryptocurrencies in late January and welcomed feedback. While some see the totality of the framework as a step forward, most members of the burgeoning local crypto community are unhappy with much of the specifics. They feel that the framework could severely restrict people and businesses operating in the fast-growing field if it is implemented in its current form. Among other things, the framework proposes banning the use of global cryptocurrencies and various tokens as methods of domestic payment, requiring cryptocurrency exchanges to obtain permits, therefore opening a new avenue for rent-seeking in the country that has already too much of it, and uses the word forbidden a lot, which could entail the threat of criminal prosecution. So the local community quickly started working on ways to improve it. On the 9th of March, more than 36 members of the community sent their proposals to the central bank in a form of a joint document that found 51 problems in the regulator's 13-page draft framework. However, at least now there isn't much else they can do. The fate of their existing businesses, budding ideas, and passion for decentralization is mostly in the hands of larger and immensely complicated centralized power structures. If you read all the way down here, it says what it kind of comes down to, at least according to this article, is that, even right here, what apparently the country is experiencing is a fear of further U.S. sanctions, and they're trying to figure out a way to retain their power in the easiest way possible before any further sanctions are implemented onto them. And it's a mixture of, they don't want capital flowing out of the country anymore. So they're trying to restrict cryptocurrencies, and they're trying to figure out a way to be able to continue to hold on to their own power without cryptocurrencies taking money out of the country or further sanctions being put on them. Part of the problem is that, once again, I've said this many other times before, a lot of the countries in the world that could benefit the most from cryptocurrencies are doing things like this. It's an odd situation because centralized powers have never really been not questioned, not provoked. They've never had a situation where people have kind of, no one created a currency anytime in history, and it took away the powers of central powers. That's just not a thing. So it's very odd to think that someone 10 years ago created a cryptocurrency that's now kind of pushing or knocking at the doors of multiple countries around the world because they're trying to figure out a way to hold on to their own powers while also trying to get away from U.S. authority to be able to run and govern and control their own countries as they kind of see fit. But yeah, it's kind of weird, and especially what I think they're doing is, especially when they're it's not funny when they're trying to talk about, like, banning cryptocurrencies or certain tokens. This is exactly what I was talking about before. I think many countries by the end of this year will allow cryptocurrencies, but it's literally going to be like 1 or 2 coins only. And I know that sounds stupid, but we're already seeing other countries allowing like only 6 crypto within their country. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Iran was also one of the countries who was trying to create their own cryptocurrency. Don't know how that's going to actually work. I mean, it's just a very weird situation. We see, you don't hear about it on the news, but we see, as we're in the cryptocurrency community, we see these power struggles kind of going on. It's this, I mean, not to even single out this country, this is happening across multiple other countries around the world. They're trying to either allow cryptocurrencies to kind of have some kind of capital into the country, but they're restricting it so much and no one actually wants to do business within the country. And then you have a situation where they're afraid of capital leaving the country, so they're trying to block and ban cryptocurrencies from actually having any sway or power within the country, but other people can still figure out other ways to take money out of the country. The same exact thing that's happening in China. It's kind of all very fascinating, and I wonder what the landscape is going to look like 10 years from now, because a lot of this isn't going to work out for them. And I don't just mean this one country. Once again, I mean multiple other countries. It's kind of sad, but a lot of analysts are saying this is what has to happen in order for crypto to become the thing that we use in the world the most. Let's move on. Next up, data from monitoring source 1ml.com confirmed the milestone for Lightning, which has upped its Bitcoin transaction capacity by almost 50% over the last month alone. At press time yesterday, the Bitcoin mainnet Lightning network had support for over 1,062 Bitcoin, around $5 million, an all-time high in both Bitcoin and USD terms. Here's the actual thing right here. Nodes are up 11%, number of channels is up 23%, and the network capacity is up 44% over the last month. Other metrics for the size of the Lightning, which continues to gain publicity, also shows records. Network nodes now number 7,700, an increase of 11%, while the number of channels has reached 39,000. Yeah, 39,000. 24% more than at the start of March. Lightning continues to expand. That's the news. Everyone loves Lightning. Lightning is quick. Lightning is fast. I wonder what a continued price movement upward will actually have on Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Anyway, let's move on. Here's just a really weird thing that I feel like shouldn't have really happened. We all saw the crypto market spike. Yeah, we were all there for that. As investor interest spiked, so did trading activity on all major fronts. According to a recent report, some users of the Singapore-based digital asset exchange known as Huobi Global were allegedly not able to cash in on this sudden spike after the exchange faced several service disruptions. Many users complained that they were unable to execute their sell or buy orders during the surge. So apparently, one, and I'll go backwards on this. Huobi had a problem during the spike. There was, increased interest in their platform, so more people were trying to use it. Apparently, people weren't able to really use their platform. Apparently, people were saying the same exact thing happened on Binance as well. Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, acknowledged the crash and informed his Twitter followers that the exchange was undergoing UI server scaling issues. I heard people complaining that Binance had a problem, so I tried to use Binance. The only problem I had was, I think it took like an extra 5 or 10 minutes to be able to like take money off of it. Everything else seemed to work pretty okay. Apologies. Part of the problem is, and not so much of a problem as much as a forewarning, in 2017, at the beginning of 2017, when prices weren't moving at all, Bitcoin was still around $800, $900. Nothing was fantastic was happening in the cryptocurrency space. By the time we got to around April or May and prices started to tick their way up, September, let's go September, many cryptocurrency exchanges were completely collapsing. They couldn't hold any of the weight from all of the people who were trying to go to their websites to be able to use their platforms, because everyone had this new renewed interest in the cryptocurrency space and everybody was trying to get in. Part of the problem is that every single major cryptocurrency exchange couldn't handle the volume. It was almost said BitConnect. Wow. It was Bittrex, it was Poloniex, it was Kraken, it was Binance, it was Coinbase, it was everyone across the board. Everyone had a problem. 2018 was supposed to be this year where prices just didn't move, everything went down, and everyone could kind of get their stuff together so that when we do have another surge, everyone could be able to trade as they please. Bitcoin hit $5,000. Imagine if Bitcoin had jumped up to $20,000. I feel like all of these websites would have completely just turned into liquid. Like I said, this doesn't really unless you guys out there own a cryptocurrency exchange, then really get it together. We cannot have another situation where exchanges just don't work during any type of a bull run. So let's hope that they get it together, because that's the last thing that we need, is to not have exchanges or websites working because prices are going up. Yeah. Here's one that I think is probably the best news story of the day. The State Bank of Pakistan, or the SBP, the country's central bank, is considering the launch of a digital currency by the year 2025. According to a report from news source Dawn on Tuesday, SBP Deputy Governor Jamil Ahmad said that the country's central bank is currently working on the digital currency concept in order to promote financial inclusion and reduce inefficiency and corruption. The central bank is also planning to make its services fully digitized and technology equipped by the year 2030. In light of the proposed digital efforts, Pakistan's Finance Minister Asad Umar asked the central bank about the country's Federal Investigation Agency, the FIA, to ensure cybersecurity in the banking system. The report adds, as a failure here could cause damage to confidence in the system and the economy. Okay. Just yesterday, the SBP also published a new regulation for electronic money institutions, or EMIs, a classification that covers cryptocurrency firms. As per the new rules, EMIs must meet certain requirements to be licensed by the country's government. with firms flouting the rules to face suspension or cancellation of licenses. The officials made their comment at a ceremony to mark the launch of a new regulation on Monday. What I think is the best part of all of this is the launch of a digital currency by 2025. For those who don't get it, that's 6 years from now. Do you know how long 6 years is in the real world, like in our time, in me and you time? You know how long 6 years is in the cryptocurrency space? Do you remember where Bitcoin was in 2013 and how far we've come? What happened in 2014, in 2015, in 2017, and subsequently also in 2018? You know how much time has passed by? The fact, this is my own opinion. This is how I personally feel about the situation. By the time 2025 rolls around, one of two things will have happened. Cryptocurrencies will have taken over the world, or no one in their right mind is going to care about cryptocurrencies. There's only one way. There's either crypto is going to be a complete failure and no one's going to care about it, or Bitcoin is probably going to be legal tender in every single country around the world. And this goes back once again to what I have been mentioning. We had a lot of crypto oracles in 2013 and 2014 who kind of said all these things were going to happen. Governments were going to create their own cryptocurrencies. Banks were going to create their own cryptocurrencies. Other countries around the world were going to start accepting cryptocurrencies as legal tender. Venezuela. One of the things that they constantly, everyone constantly noted is that by 2020, 2021, Bitcoin is going to be one of the most used currencies on this planet. That doesn't even count 2022, 2023, or 2024 when Bitcoin has another reward halving. I read this and I thought this might have been the funniest thing that I read. I mean, while I appreciate their efforts to become digitized, it's probably not going to have any effect. By the time Bitcoin ends up hitting $100,000 per coin, people are almost going to stop completely caring about fiat currencies. And this is where we see all those, all those people talking, and they keep saying that eventually Bitcoin's going to have a tipping point where Bitcoin's price becomes so large, it gathers all the attention from everyone around the world. People start selling their gold and silver and palladium and blah, 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 and pushing it all into Bitcoin. By the time Bitcoin hits $250,000 per coin, it's going to have enough power and enough sway and enough weight behind it to be able to replace the US dollar. That's all expected to happen within the next 3 to 4 years. 6 years is a very long time. Like I said, while I commend them on their efforts, I am desperate to see exactly how that's going to work out. Not to spend too much time on this. I mean, fully digitized by 20. You know how long 11 years is? You know some of the stuff that people are talking about that's going to happen to Bitcoin by the year 2030? Bitcoin's expected to be over 7 figures. Anyway, I thought this was funny. I thought it was fun. Ha 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 ha. All right, let's move on. To kind of finish things off, for those who haven't noticed, Bitcoin's volume has kind of lost its mind. It's very nice to see that this is actually happening once again. We were talking about it a couple of days ago, where I was talking about that Bitcoin's volume just kind of wasn't moving. It was very weird. I think we had about it was like $6 billion. Lo and behold, it's like almost $18 billion right now. Ethereum the other day, for those who are paying attention as well, Ethereum's volume, apologies, was around $1 billion. XRP's volume was like 400 million, 450 million, somewhere around there. I'll get back to XRP in 1 second as well. I gotta voice something that's going through my head. For those who are looking at the screen, you may have noticed something wonderful and spectacular. Bitcoin is very, very close to $5,000 once again. Litecoin is up almost 24%. It's kind of losing its mind. Not exactly sure what's happening on the Litecoin front. I am glad that it's happening. The thing that's stealing the spotlight today for some odd reason, and I mean, I looked around and no one can really figure out, Bitcoin Cash is up 41%. Every single time that there's a little bull run up and Bitcoin starts going up, Bitcoin Cash and Satoshi's Vision, I don't know who's pumping this, but not to give them the spotlight, but they know how to pump a coin very, very well. I don't get it. I'm sure many of you don't get it as well. However, the pumps on these coins are always absolutely insane. It's very nice to see. Okay, there's a very weird thing. Certain coins are pumping like crazy, but other coins are not, and they all seem to be like derivatives of Bitcoin, if that makes any sense. You have Bitcoin, and then you have the original copy, air quotes, of Bitcoin. You have Litecoin, and then you have Bitcoin Cash also going up by a lot. Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision also up by 22%. If Bitcoin Gold is going up dramatically, that'll seal the deal. Where's Bitcoin Gold? Nope, only 8%. Anyway, oh, Dogecoin is also almost up 30%. It's just a very weird, not that I'm knocking it, it's just kind of weird to see certain coins going up a lot higher than others. On my XRP discussion, this is how I personally feel. I don't get XRP. I want to get it. I desperately want to understand. But nothing I do can make me understand why XRP never, ever, 99% of the time, doesn't go up as much as other coins around it. It's kind of weird. I feel like all the infrastructure that's been built around XRP, like I said, this is my own opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just kind of how I feel. All the infrastructure that's been built around XRP, one would assume that XRP would be going up by around 24% and not by 5%. Kind of the same exact thing is happening with Stellar as well. To be fair, it's only going up is less than 4%, which is also kind of weird because of all the news that we've had about it. And also, to be fair, Binance Coin is also only going up by 2.7%, which is also kind of weird because on any other given day, when Bitcoin was going up by 2%, Binance Coin was going up by 19%. Yeah, don't really understand it. It is nice to see any type of gain on any coin because we didn't have prices going up for quite a long amount of time. It's also really weird that Algor is also going up by almost 35%. There was an article that apparently stuff on Algor is being faked. There's like a code bug or something like that, and I didn't want to really talk about it because, I mean, I'm sure not many people out there are losing their minds over Algor or have a substantial amount of Algor. Just gonna say it that way. Anyway, yeah, so the next stop, it appears, is $5,000. We have a lot of people talking about that. The rally isn't done. So let's see if it ends up still happening. Don't know how to end that sentence. Right, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening. It's really weird. I feel like I don't have a cold anymore. It's just like the air is really, really dry. It's very annoying. I was trying not to drink water during it, and I was also trying not to cough directly into the microphone. So I graciously looked away and hope you didn't get the brunt of that. Anyway, thank you all once again for watching and listening. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are, and I can't say this in one breath. That's not going to happen. Vlad the Impaler, Gilliboa Snake, Rai, Brady Niels, Ella Doug, Arthur Yaku, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Nick Mangialavori, Travis Haynes, Yasha Harari, Anthony Charles, Nick Kanaya, singer-songwriter, Mike Savitz, Wise Night Owl, Joey Carafa, Crypto Joe, Jim Gardner, Jared Schneider, Jeremy Fox, Amy Starsheen, Richie Rich, The Third, Jeffrey Ramsey, Cody, Carl Burchinoff, Paxis, Jeffrey Dam, Nicholas, One Earth, One Piece, One Love, Setsuna, Minting Coins, Crypnotic, RF Dusty, ShaolinFriedRice.com, Crypto Artist, Coldy3D.com, and Essie, Verzily, Fine Art. Thank you all very, very much for your generosity. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.